Welcome to the Citizen channel. We have we did this last season. We're going to do it this season, our half-season player ratings. We played 19. We sit wonderfully top of the league. That's fantastic. I've got the old calculator out. I looked at my player ratings so far for the 19 home games, and obviously looking at the Manchester Evening News as well. So you don't just get my ratings of the players for the half season, but you also get a view of the Manchester Evening News, which, apart from a couple of times with Mr. Simon Pekowski, has been more or less Stuart Brennan. So I'll class it as the Manchester Evening News, although, as I say, I certainly for about 15 or 16 of these 19 games, I think Stuart Brennan was doing the player ratings. So we can combine them together and give a combined Manchester Evening News one. So I'll give you my little ratings, my little top, who's top of my heap, and obviously I will comment on where they feature in the Manchester Evening News ones. And there are discrepancies, of course, some interesting ones as well, guys, so stick with me. Please give us a thumbs up if you like this. It's a bit of fun, and press that notification button so you know when these Citizen channel vlogs are coming out. Right, yeah, there's some certain criteria. Obviously, not everyone's played 19 games. There's very few played 19 games, actually. But we've actually got to have started 7 games or more. Now, this is started. I've not taken on any sub-appearances, so they don't include that. It's when they've started the game. So they've got to have at least 7. And I did 7 because there's certain players, key players, who only have started 7. Yeah, out of 19. It's a hell of a figure, isn't it, really? Very unusual. We'll give the honourable mentions first for the guys who not quite made the cut, if you like, on the games played. I mean, Palmer, for instance, only played 1 game. He scored a 7 out of 10 with the Evening News and a 6.5 out of 10 with me. So give him a little honourable mention for that game. We've got certain players on 4 games. Yeah, Fernandino's only started 4 league games, and we both give him a 6 out of 10 average. Aki's only started 4 league games. The Evening News give him a 6.25 average. I give him a slightly kinder 6.62 average. Torres, yeah, again, only 4 games. He was Manchester Evening News 6.5. I give him a 6.75. So not great scores, actually. Those wouldn't have rated very highly if they'd been transferred over to the guys who qualified. And the interesting one was Stones. Yes, John Stones has only started 4 league games. Excuse me, quite incredible, really. He's got a 7 from the Evening News and a 7.38 from me, so he would have been quite high up the little charts, if you like. We've got 1 guy on 5 games as well. He's only started 5 games, and that's Zinchenko, so he won't feature in the main bulk of this, but he scored a 7 with the Evening News and a 6.6 with me, so I'm slightly down on him. I mean, as you know, if you watch my player ratings, if the City as a team have a good game, I usually start at 7. So don't be surprised if the ratings do seem a little bit high. I'd say there's not many times looking through all these that players have sort of got 4s or 5s, or there's quite a few 6s, as you'd expect, 6.5s. But there you go. And the Manchester Evening News does it in solid figures as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, I go to a half as well. So there's slight differences like that. Right, so let's get on to this. It leaves us 14 players. 14 players who actually featured and started in 7 games or more during the season. Right, we'll start at the bottom. That's the best place to start. We don't start at the top. It ruins it, doesn't it? We'll start at the bottom in 14th spot. For me, this guy is 8th as far as the Manchester Evening News is concerned, so a big discrepancy, and my apologies. Obviously, there might be something beneath this, I'm not too sure, but on a score of 6.64, so that's not too bad a score, is it? Let's be honest about it, but it's been a pretty good season so far, hasn't it, apart from a couple of hiccups. I've got Mahrez. Mahrez is my bottom. He's 14 out of the 14 guys. He's obviously played 7 games only, so he just about qualified. That's as low as I went, because with him being a key player, I thought I'd include him in. Obviously, as far as Evening News, he was in 8th spot with an average of 7.14. So there you go. He's in 14th. Yeah, I mean, certainly looking at the ratings, his last 3 or 4 games are quite a big improvement. So he might be able to move off 14th spot as the season progresses. In 13th, a very interesting one. I've got this guy in 13th. The Evening News have got him in 10th, and it's on 6.7. Raheem, yeah, again, another one who's improved slightly over the last 3 or 4 games. But as I say, he's 10th on the Evening News. He's 13th with mine on a 6.7 average, which isn't bad, is it? He's 6.9 with the Evening News. And I say, since the end of November, he's played sort of 9 games, played a lot more games and some good scores, including a couple of man of the matches for me as well. So 13 spots. Sterling, not great, next to bottom, but hey, he's lucky though he might improve if he carries on how he's doing now, although a lot of the damage has already been done, of course. In 12th for me, on 6.83, I've got Mr. Walker. Yeah, that did surprise me. He's played 12 games. Sterling had played 10, by the way. Walker's played 12. He's number 12 for me. He's number 11 in the Evening News, so not a lot of difference. I've got him at 6.83. The Evening News has got him at 6.75. Fairly consistent after a very good beginning. I mean, for the first 2 or 3 games, he was pretty much on fire, and he's been fairly consistent ever since then. On to 11, this surprised me again, on 6.87 points. I've got Edison. Yeah, he's played all 19, of course. There's not many guys who played all 19. He has played all 19 league games. He features at 13th. He's next to bottom on the Evening News ratings with 6.58 rating, so that was interesting. Consistency again, a couple of poor games, but pretty steady from Eddie, so he's at number 11. But he didn't make the top 10, right? Into the top 10. At number 10, this did surprise, another one that surprised me. It's funny, isn't it, when you look back, if you ask me now who my favourite players over the season were, it'd probably be a little bit different to this top 14, to be honest with you. But at number 10, into the top 10, we've got Mr. Laporte at 6.9. He's played 15 of the 19 games. With the Evening News, he's bottom. He's bottom with the Evening News. He's 14th with the Manchester Evening News. So there you go, with an average of 6.5. I give him 6.9. Again, a steady performance from Laporte, but it did surprise me, I must admit. Into 9th, yeah, a bit of a mishmash of a season, this one. 6.91 on my ratings. We've got Gundogan, of course. He's played 11 games. With the Manchester Evening News, he's up into 7th. Yeah, so I got him 9th. The Evening News has got him 7th at 7.18. So he averages over 7 with them. A bit of a slowish start, and then he's been in and out. So no surprise that he's in 9th place. Into number 8, this is an interesting one as well. He's certainly improved lately. He's had 1 man of the match, but I've got in 8th place Mr. Cancelo on 7 out of 10 average. He's played 18 of the 19, so he's almost played in all of them. As far as Evening News is concerned, he's in their top 5. Yeah, he's 5th place with 7.28. That doesn't surprise me. I'm just surprised he's so low in my charts. But there you go. That's Cancelo at number 8. At number 7, yeah, interesting one. But again, because he's had a bit of a stop-start season, I've got at 7.13 out of 10 average KDB. He's played 8 only of the 19 games. The Manchester Evening News have got him down in 12th. Yeah, he's 3 from bottom, or second, yeah, 3 from bottom on the Manchester Evening News. Only rating of 6.63, a good 0.5 less than I've got. He's got 1 man of the match. And I said he's a lot better the last of 3 games, but he is struggling from an in and out season, and he's not really been playing with any consistency. Only played 8 out of the 19, of course. Right, just outside the top 5, at number 6, yes, 7.19 out of 10, my average. Jesus, he's played 13 of the 19. Yeah, he's down at 9th in the Evening News, rating at 7.08 out of 10. Some good early performances looking back, but not so recent. Yeah, he's not been playing that regularly, has he, recently? But he started well, but he's faded just a little bit. So let's get to the top 5. I think 4 out of the 5, me and the Manchester Evening News agreed in the top 5, not particularly in the order, but we do agree on 4 of the 5 top players. And into 5th, no surprise any of these really. 7.26 average from me. Mr. Ruben Diaz played 17 of the 19 games. He gets a 6th spot. So he's out of the top 5 of the Manchester Evening News with a 7.18 average, and a strong end of September through to early December, which plumps him up into 5th spot. So there you go for Mr. Ruben Diaz. So he's into our top 5. He's 5th. At number 4, let's go for number 4. Well, obviously, it's our local lad at number 4. I've averaged him at 7.28 out of 10. He's only played 9. He's only started 9, which is a low fit. I didn't expect that at all. Played 9 of the 19 games. He's had a few problems recently with, obviously, he's on the naughty step. But, he's 4th as well in the Manchester Evening News. So we totally agree. There's not many we agree on. There's a couple. There's another one in a minute. But he's 4th on the Manchester Evening News at 7.44 average to my 7.28, so they've been a bit kinder. Again, a latish start, wasn't it? That's why he's only played 9, and he's got a couple of man of the matches on my reviews as well, but some good consistent scores. So we're going to the top three. Have I not mentioned any of the guys that you think yet? Probably not. Yeah, the top three interesting. And there's certainly one who stands out that I wouldn't have expected to be in the top three based on the stick he gets. But at number three, at 7.31 out of 10 on my ratings, we've got Rodri. Yeah, Rodri's number three. So, yeah, there's probably a couple of guys thinking, hey, what's going on? But he's played 16 of the 19. Again, Evening News average rates him at number three as well at 7.44 out of 10. I've got him at 7.31. Just one man of the match. A bit of a slow start, and then sort of all hell let loose. He just played very, very well after that, didn't he? So it stuck him into number three spot. So a lot of people may have thought him as number one, to be honest with you. But there you go. And at number two is the big, big surprise for me. Well, not for me, really, because I was banging this guy's drum early doors. He had some great ratings early doors, played very, very well. He's petered off just a little bit, but not enough to knock him down the scale. An average of 7.33 out of 10. Yep, Mr. Jack Grealish. He's started 12 of the 19 games. He's actually, here we go, guys, with the Manchester Evening News. He's the top rated guy with the Manchester Evening News, Jack Grealish, at 7.92 out of 10, which is pretty amazing. So there you go. That just shows you, doesn't it? And I've got him at number two. Played 12 of the 19. He got a man of the match for the very first game, his debut, and he's not had one since. But yeah, he was pretty consistent. I say he's been getting a lot of stick, but it didn't surprise me. If he'd said to me, I would have certainly put him in my top 3 or 4. So it's no surprise that I've got him second. And the Manchester Evening News, Mr. Stuart Brennan, Mr. Simon Bukowski occasionally have Jack Grealish as City's most consistently rated player of the first half season of this 21-22 season. So there you go, guys. There's a shock. And number one, yes, well, I've not said him, have I? I mean, this is no surprise to me. Seven man of the matches for me, and he probably could have had more, but I just felt guilty giving it to him all the time. Is anyone going to argue with this? Possibly, I'm not too sure, but I doubt it very much. He's number two, though. Number two in the Manchester Evening News at 7.89 rating out of 10. I give him a 7.86 average, and of course, it's my namesake, isn't it? Of course, the old Duracell bunny, the old Bernardo, absolutely fantastic. Started 18 of the 19 games. That's pretty amazing. So that counts for a lot as well, of course, doesn't it? As I said, 7 man of the matches pretty much says it all. He probably could have got 9 or 10 overall, to be honest with you, out of that 18 games. So no surprise to me that the Manchester City player of the first half of the season, 21-22, is Mr. Bernardo Silva. So there you go, a top 5 of Diaz at number 5, Foden at number 4, Rodri at number 3, Grealish at number 2, number 1 in the Manchester Evening News. Have I mentioned that? I think I have. And of course, number 1. We've got Mr. Bernardo Silva. So there you go. Let me know what you think, guys. I say we don't differ too much, me and the Manchester Evening News, to be honest with you. The biggest difference, of course, was Mahrez. I'm going to have to be kinder to Mahrez. There must be something, because I don't deliberately score him down, but perhaps I expect a little bit more from him. I'm not too sure. But as I say, bottom for me and 8 for the Manchester Evening News was the biggest difference today. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. If you don't think it's Bernardo, let me know who you think it is. But there you go, guys. That's player ratings. That's stats for you. If you'd asked me before I did this, who would be my number 1? Yeah, it would probably agree with Bernardo. But I probably wouldn't have put Grealish as number 2, to be honest with you. But let me know what you think, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, just a bit of fun, of course. There will be an end of season 1, and some guys have got a bit of picking up to do, haven't they, in that table. But I hope you enjoyed that. Please give us that thumbs up and share this around. Tell your friends. Hopefully, get a bit of enjoyment out of it. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed putting this together for you. So, all the best. Anyway, thanks for everything. Please, whatever you're going to do, rest stay, have a great one. Look at yourselves, look at your friends, look at your families. More important, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the City Vs channel. I only ask one thing, don't I, guys? It's only simple. I just ask you all to stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.